Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the DeFi crypto sensei of Kong Tech Fu, also known as the Pendecker, ladies and gentlemen. And here at Kong Tech Fu, we do crypto kung fu with you all day long, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys already know the routine. You already know what we're here for. We are here to learn how to get this crypto. And in order to do that, we must become our own banks. And in order to become our own banks, we must understand banking. We must understand how to provide the liquidity that others use while we earn fees. You see, being your own bank is different from being a trader. You see, and I see many people that are in crypto, but just because they're in crypto does not mean that they are in decentralized finance, which is what we call DeFi, ladies and gentlemen. When you hear that word DeFi, that means decentralized finance. And most people in crypto are not in decentralized finance, ladies and gentlemen. There are $3.9 trillion in all of crypto. 2.3 trillion of that is all in Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. And we know, the style of a Bitcoin holder, and the style of a Bitcoin holder is they are exactly that, a holder. Because Bitcoin does not give you the ability, in its most native sense, the ability to do smart contracts and NFTs. And if you can't do smart contracts and NFTs, that means that you are not in a position to use your assets in order to produce yield on your tokens, ladies and gentlemen. So in order to produce yield on your tokens, of course, you have to take advantage of a principle, and that principle, of course, is called compound interest. That's why sometimes here you'll hear me say that I am a compound interest maximalist, ladies and gentlemen. But something interesting came across my desk. I'm not going to keep you guys long, but if you guys truly want the education that it takes, because being wealthy is not about how much you have externally. Being wealthy is how much you understand internally, ladies and gentlemen, because it's all a state of mind of education, and it is also a vibration, ladies and gentlemen, to put the esoteric side to it. Okay, it's all about living in abundance, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about finding an excuse to win, like a Navy SEAL. So before we go any further, you guys are going to need some basic tools before we get underway. And of course, you're going to need Kinesis money. We went over that last time if you were on my channel. Kinesis money is tokenized gold and silver, ladies and gentlemen. And Kinesis money is as legit as they come. I actually learned about Kinesis money from Andy Sheckman of Miles Franklin, who is the owner of that gold and silver, bullion enterprise. Okay, so it's as legit as they get. And not only do you get your own financial advisor, but you also get a monthly yield, and also your gold and silver is redeemable, ladies and gentlemen. That means if you have an account, of course, and if you have gold and silver and you want them to take some or all of your gold and actually have it physically delivered to your house, you can do that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say you had, I don't know, $20,000 of gold and $40 worth of silver. You say, hey man, send me $10,000 worth of gold and $10,000 worth of silver. They will send it directly to your house. Physical gold and silver. Yes, because it is, as I said, redeemable, ladies and gentlemen. And then of course you've got UPHOLD and MEXC. I use UPHOLD every single day. The link of my referral link for these things will be down in the description below. Please do not go and try and find these things for yourself, because that is the easiest way to get fish hacked or scammed, ladies and gentlemen. And you should know everything that we talk about here. I'm not giving anyone any financial advice. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, and I definitely don't have anything to sell you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything, and I'm not trying to convince you of anything. This is for your own education, so that you can build your own financial empire brick by brick, so that you can go from being a consumer to a wealthy person. And that requires different education statuses and behaviors. Okay, so yeah, Uphold and MEXC, ladies and gentlemen. The link, a referral link for that will also be down in the description below, because you guys know I always give you safe passage through the crypto space, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to need you guys to do is, I'm going to need you guys to put your thinking caps on for a second. Now, I know this is kind of a lackadaisical society, but you have to study to show yourself approved if you say, you know, you want to create generational wealth. So I am going to give you the recipe. I am going to give you the template, you know, because most of this stuff you guys really don't have to figure it out. I've already figured it out, and I'm going to give you the blueprint, ladies and gentlemen. So first things first, you know what I'm saying? You have to know certain things. You have to know how to navigate the blockchain space. And if anything that I'm saying and you don't understand because you're new to this, and we're basically all new to this because this technology has never existed before. You know, Satoshi gave us this very, very wonderful gift called Bitcoin and or blockchain technology, ladies and gentlemen. So something came across my desk today, and it was a combination of two platforms that I've used ever since they came out, you know. So if you guys just want to take a little ride and understand this, you can secure a lot of benefit for yourself, because like I said, I'm not sitting here trying to convince you guys of anything. If you want to secure some benefit for yourself, if you want to be a fully self-supporting person that is on the road, on the path of financial independence, and to be able to get the money, grow the money, and then keep the money. See, those are all skills, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. But something came across my desk that was very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And also chilling over here on the side, you guys see we got NordVPN chilling over there on the side. And if you're doing cryptocurrency, of course, you may need that from time to time. So I went over into crypto Twitter, ladies and gentlemen, and or X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And I came across something known as HyENA, ladies and gentlemen. Now, HyENA, when I first saw it, I was like, I already knew what it was hinting at, you know, because like I said, I've used Hyperliquid and I've used ETHENA, you know, so I immediately saw the combination. And I was like, okay, you know, this is pretty neat, but it's basically the internet trading engine with native rewards. So how is this different? Like, why should I care? Like, what problem is it solving, ladies and gentlemen? And we're going to get to that. But in order to understand this, you have to understand what comes before this, because that is the only way that you're going to get the full understanding of why you should be using HyENA. You know, I haven't used it yet myself, but I have used ETHENA very, very comprehensively, and I have used Hyperliquid very, very comprehensively, and even got airdrops and stuff like that. So let's go over here to the videotape very quickly, and let's just go over here and look at the founder of ETHENA, who is Guy Young. All right, Guy Young is the founder of ETHENA, and you know, he pretty much, you know, founded ETHENA, but he founded based upon a concept that he got the idea from. The intellectual property actually belongs to another guy, and, you know, they actually gave him full credit for it, as a matter of fact. And that, of course, is none other than, you know, the great Arthur Hayes. Okay. And Arthur Hayes, of course, as you can see, he's the co-founder of MEXC, you know, and he has reemerged in recent years as the industry's most consistently influential macro thinkers, you know. And I actually pattern, you know, I kind of see Arthur Hayes as a mentor myself, because, you know, basically what he did is he took what he learned from banking in the traditional finance world, and he brought those concepts and principles over into crypto. And he started looking at things from a macroeconomic perspective, you know. So I've kind of, you know, taken a page myself from the way Arthur Hayes does things, you know what I'm saying, and his, you know, continued, you know, well, he's past stage 1 and stage 2. You know, he's at stage 3 where, You know, he keeps his money because Arthur Hayes, you know, is not just a millionaire, but he is a billionaire. And he is the guy that all millionaires and billionaires listen to if they want to make their next millions and billions. This is the guy. All right. So if you want to know, this is the guy. All right. So why am I telling you guys this? I'm telling you guys this because, you know, ETHENA, even though it was created and founded by Guy Young, you know, before he created ETHENA, like I said, he got the idea from Arthur Hayes because he read an essay that Arthur Hayes did on the different types of stable coins and how, you know, they could be made stable in a certain way that would probably be more efficient in the long run. So let's take a quick look at that. Let's go on over here and let's take a quick look at, if I can find it. Yeah, let's take a quick look over here. There are 4 main types of stable coins, ladies and gentlemen, because we all hear the term stable coin and we just think, oh, stable coin is a stable coin, it's a stable coin. Not so, not so. They all do the same thing, but they are constructed and rely, their liquidity base relies on different things. As you can see here, you know, you've got fiat backed, which are pegged to traditional currencies like the US dollars and or fiat, which is a depreciating asset, by the way. We already know that because you guys know I love to show you my debt clock. Don't make me pull out my debt clock on you. And then you got commodity backed, okay, which are tied to physical assets like gold, you know, cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency backed, which use other cryptocurrencies as collateral, and algorithmic, which is the 4th one. Stable coins would rely on algorithms to maintain their value. And as it says here, each type has different mechanisms for achieving price stability, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if any of you go back, you know what I'm saying, like we used to do these platforms, you know what I'm saying, several years ago, that was popular, known as Tomb, T-O-M-B. And Tomb was a platform where people made a lot of money, and they basically had 3 coins. You know, they had the native coin of the platform, they had the governance token, and they had a bond token, so that anytime, you know, the native token fell off peg because it was pretty much a stable coin, if you will, you could put it in the bond, you know what I'm saying, until the price recovered, you know what I'm saying, to protect, you know, your value, and then you bring it back out, this, that, and the other. And then, of course, they had a long list of Tomb forks, because everybody and their grandmother was creating Tomb forks. But I said that to say this. They were pretty much using algorithmic stablecoins. Now, ETHENA, on the other hand, uses the cryptocurrency backed, because ETHENA is backed by Ethereum itself. Because if we look at decentralized finance, this is why most projects go into Ethereum, because Ethereum has the most liquidity in all of DeFi, and it's pretty much the root of DeFi, because it was the first thing after Bitcoin that allowed people to do smart contracts and NFTs, and thus DeFi, or decentralized finance, was born. But it all depends on who you ask. Like, that's like the cover story. But if you were to, you know, talk to people like Reggie Middleton, he might have a different story for you. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Just remember that name, Reggie Middleton. Go down that rabbit hole and see where it leads you. But back to getting good, to getting good, to getting good, to getting good. So yeah, Arthur Hayes, Guy Young, you know, and let's just take a quick look at ETHENA itself. And if we take a look at ETHENA, it's digital dollars for the internet, you know, and basically Arthur Hayes's essay was all about utilizing cryptocurrency-backed stablecoins, but not only cryptocurrency-backed, but also the company itself would run delta-neutral strategies in order to upkeep the reserves, in order to pay out an APY on the stablecoins that people were staking on the platform. So as you can see right now, you have a 4.4% 30-day, you know, staked USD APY. Now the SUSDE, the S stands for staked, ladies and gentlemen, but it's the stable coin is just USDE. But once you stake it, it becomes, you get a receipt token back that is known as SUSD. So there's also the principle of what we call liquid staking derivatives here. Now I know I shouldn't use that word derivatives, because the minute I use that word derivatives, people brains, their spark plugs just go zzz, zzz. They just I don't know why that is, but for some reason that word drives people crazy. So I have noticed that people in the industry like myself started using the term liquid staking tokens. I don't know, it's just something about that word. It's very strange. But anyway, there's a liquid staking token principle going on here, ladies and gentlemen. And we got a 4.4% 30-day APY. We got an average staking USDE APY of 13.1%. And then, of course, with the total value locked, you got $6.54 billion. So you can get your money, ladies and gentlemen, because see, in crypto, everything is cash and carry. There ain't no crypto here and banks loading out money they ain't got. No. Everything here is cash and carry. You have 850.85 million in a USDT, USDT-B supply. And you got 874,000 users, and you got 24 different chains or blockchains that these cryptos operate on, So basically, you can go ahead and you can check out ETHENA and this, that, and the other. They have many partners of the greatest, most powerful DeFi platforms, including Aave, Morpho, Pendo, Hyperliquid, and now you see HyENA right there. And then exchanges that they down with Binance, Bybit, MEXC. In other words, you can't go wrong with ETHENA, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you want exposure to Ethereum. And you should, because Ethereum is where the money is. When you go into any blockchain, the goal is to get the native token of that blockchain. So when it comes to Ethereum and or any layer 2, all layer 2s do the same thing. The goal is to get Ethereum. Ethereum is where the money is. That's how you swap out. You know what I'm saying? I won't say cash out, because you don't really want to cash out. Because you know what our motto is? Our motto is never sell. But see, in crypto, when you swap one token for another, that's not selling. See, the way we take profit in crypto is different from the way you take profit in traditional finance. Because if you swap back into fiat, you may very well find yourself exposed to capital gains tax. And you don't want to do that. Just stay in the cryptoverse, man, and spend your money from there. Find a way to spend your stable coins on something like the UPHOLD, card or whatever. But use SPRITZ Finance. Remember that name, SPRITZ Finance. Do a search on that. Matter of fact, I'll put SPRITZ Finance down in the description below. It's a great way for you to pay your bills and utilities using your crypto. Then this way, when you make dividends on your multiple income streams, you could pay, from your dividends. So basically, you're paying your bills for free. This is the way, as the Mandalorians would say, this is the way. All right, now let's get back to this thing over here. And let's take a look at Hyperliquid, ladies and gentlemen. Hyperliquid is one of the most baddest mofos that DeFi has ever seen. Hyperliquid got me doing things I thought I would never do, like expose myself to trading, because I'm not a trader, I'm an investor. Because you guys know my motto. If you've been here for a while, I've got plenty of mottos and slogans, as you know. Mottos and slogans will save you. When you want to do something stupid, you go back to your mottos and slogans. Like if you see a juicy opportunity and you want to invest, but all you got is your budget money. You say, I got my energy money. I got my rent over here. And if I take my rent and energy money and I go into this, I can 5x my money. Don't do it. Okay? Because principle number one, never invest more than you can afford to lose. You know what that means? That means you do not go into your budget money under any circumstances. Got it? Good. Because I just saw a short on YouTube where this girl is flipping burgers at McDonald's. No, actually, she was deep frying some French fries, saying, "I'm done with crypto. I went in there and I lost whatever, a couple of $100. It's a total scam." It's like, no, the fact that you're in McDonald's is the scam. You don't even know you are in the scam. You are deep frying like those French fries in the scam. Crypto is your way out. Compound interest is your way out. Being your own bank is your way out. Being financially independent is your way out. You're not hurting anybody by telling them, "I'm done with crypto. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home." You're simply not fulfilling your responsibility to yourself. There will be many crypto millionaires made from here on out for the next many years coming, because crypto is here to stay. All you got to do is decide to be one of them, as I have done. All right, let me get off my soapbox for a second. The blockchain to house all finance. So go over here, check out Hyperliquid, become acquainted with Hyperliquid. Even though this is not what we're really talking about. We're talking about the building blocks to understand what HyENA is. Okay? Now, Hyperliquid uses a layer 2 known as Arbitrum. And it also has its Hyper EVM layer, which is its own kind of little blockchain, you know? And yeah, you just go in here, you learn about Hyperliquid. And you can go in here and you can do some staking. You know, like if we go over here and we say start trading, right? And this is a third-party website, too long didn't read, you know. And they're going to tell you the terms of service, you know what I'm saying? So you might have to, you know, pull a third stage guild navigator on these guys, you know what I'm saying? You might have to travel without moving, you know. And in the digital world, you can actually do that with 3 letters, VPN. So, I'm not going to do the third stage guild navigators right now. I'm just showing you guys around. But yeah, so you can go here. You can do the trading. You could buy, you could long, you could short. You know, you could do 50x leverage, and some coins I think you can go up to 100x leverage or whatever. But see, trading is not actually my thing. I did it for the purpose of getting the airdrop, you know, and they still got more airdrops coming, you know what I'm saying, but we're not here to cover that today. And then of course you go to your portfolio and tell you everything that you're involved with, but you can go to the vaults as well. You know, if you don't want to do the trading, you can hang out with the vaults, you know, where you could put some money with the Hyperliquid, you know, people, which is the first one, the HLP, which is the one you should definitely go with. Everybody else is pretty much, you know, just ordinary people, but a lot of them do have some really good results. So you can actually go with all of these people. But if you want to play it safe, just go with the first vault, which is the official Hyperliquidity provider. And you can go in there, and this is pretty much like copy trading being done for you. You simply provide liquidity in the form of USDC stablecoin, and they will do the trading for you. And you will buy, they will do all of the strategies for you, and you will either win and lose based upon their results. All right. Now, the Hyperliquid one is a small APR, but at least you have some steady upward growth there. Now, you can also go down here to the staking aspect. And in the staking aspect, you know, well, it's not going to show you here because I didn't do the third stage guild navigator. But if you were to look in here on the, you know what? Hold on one second, guys. Let me show you guys what's going on. Just hold on one second here. I'll be right. All right, guys. I did do my third stage guild navigator thing and folded time and space. But the staking UI is not available on mobile devices, so you're gonna have to go on a laptop. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have an exact replica of everything I do on the phone on my laptop, and there are some things that work on the laptop that don't work on the phone, as you can see, and vice versa. You know, but you know, just use your imaginations. The staking UI here, basically, what you would do is you would stake the hype token, HYPE. So you know, you can actually see that on CoinGecko. If we was to go here, this is the token that you will actually be staking, You know what I'm saying? So you can go on Hyperliquid and you don't actually have to do the trading. You could do the vaults and you can do the staking. You know, and right now Hype token is about $29, as you can see. But also, if you look, you know, at when I first did this, you see all of these? You got the Hype, you got K Hype, you got W Hype, you got Staked Hype, you got HBUSDT, you got... So it's a very vast ecosystem is what I'm trying to say. You know, you can... There are people on the leaderboards in Hyperliquid, I kid you not, if you were to go in there. I mean, there are some rich individuals in there. You got people in there with up to 1 million, tens of million, 80 million. I saw one guy with $134 million on the platform. I kid you not. Very, very vast platform, ladies and gentlemen. But enough about that. Let's go to why we are actually here, ladies and gentlemen. And why we are actually here is to understand HyENA. As you can see, the combination there, Hyperliquid and ETHENA. Now, where does ETHENA come in? You didn't say nothing about that. ETHENA is the governance token of Ethereum because it's primarily a stable coin platform which uses USDE, as we stated, which is based upon, you know, which is backed, I should say, pegged 1-to-1 with Ethereum in a delta neutral strategy. The ETHENA token came along a little later. Like, we were into ETHENA when it first came out, and for quite some time, you know, it was just all about USDE, and it pretty much still is. But ETHENA is the governance token of the platform that was, you might say, just newly introduced, okay, into the entire structure of the thing, okay? So, I don't know. I think they should have called it HyETHENA, you know, like, to be more specific, you know. But, I guess, you know, whatever. But anyway, here we go. So you have a combination of Hyperliquid and ETHENA to create this internet trading engine with native rewards. So if we look down here, it's the first batch boosted rewards have been distributed to early users, this, that, and the other. But they use qualifying positions. That's not what I wanted to do here. I wanted to go over here and I wanted to show you guys. Wait a minute, we got to go over here. That's what's wrong. I'm not in the right spot. Sorry about that, guys. But introducing HyENA, the internet trading engine with native rewards, USDE, margin perpetual DEX built on Hyperliquid's Hype 3 standard. Earn rewards based on your USDE margin collateral while you trade. Idle margins become a productive savings account. HLPE, combining trading returns and bases in a single vault token. Built directly on the core primitives of Hyperliquid and ETHENA, obviously. For years, traders have incurred funding fees. Now, all you trading guys, you will appreciate this. For years, traders have incurred funding fees with unproductive margin collateral on DEXs. Today, that changes. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what it is all about. And now if you go on crypto Twitter up here, you can see that the URL is simply hyena.trade. And if we were to click on that, it will take us directly to the platform. The internet trading engine with native rewards. So, to sum everything up, ladies and gentlemen, trade any asset on Earth 24/7 with maximum capital efficiency. So the days of Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, Wall Street, stock market, those days are gone, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto is here to stay. The days of 3 to 5 business days to clear your check to get financial settlement, those days are gone, ladies and gentlemen, because now we get financial settlement if it's 3 to 5 seconds. That's too slow for us in crypto. But it's an astronomical jump. It's a quantum jump in the way things are done compared to the legacy system, ladies and gentlemen. So to sum it all up, ladies and gentlemen, if I were you, like I said, I'm not giving anybody any financial advice. I'm here to educate you and do with it what you will. Okay? Just don't blame it on me if you get bad results. Because at times you're going to get bad results. Nobody comes in here and wins all the time. Okay? But as long as you win more than you lose, then you are successful. Because you're going to lose, because you have to lose, because losing is part of your education process. If you just win, and everything you do, everything you touch like Midas turns to gold, you will never learn anything. You will never know anything. You got to make some mistakes. You got to, you got to feel a little pain, This is why you never invest more than you can afford to lose, because the shit could blow up in your face. All right? So know and understand that it is your responsibility to become financially independent, no one else's. So be a responsible adult. And if things don't go your way, don't blame anybody, okay? Take full responsibility for your life. That's the mark of, a real one. All right? So with that, this is the DeFi Crypto Sensei signing off, also known as the Pen Decker of Kung Tech Fu, reminding you of the principles that will make you financially independent, because it's not about what you have, it's about your mentality and it's the vibration of abundance that makes you wealthy, ladies and gentlemen. And most of all, always remember one of the most important principles of all: health is wealth. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, you won't enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, all the money you make, you're just going to give it to the doctor. Okay, so don't give all your money to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't, you have to be, super, strict or anything, but, try to be reasonably, healthy diet and, and at least a reasonable amount of exercise, and take care of your body and it'll take care of you, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Especially since you got these globalists out here trying to do all types of things to cause hurt, harm, and, keeping us in perpetual poverty, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. Once again, this is the Pen Decker, the DeFi Crypto Sensei, signing off once again, ever reminding you guys, while there's time, you've only got 5 years before 2030, ladies and gentlemen. While you have time, you must take it upon yourself to get this crypto.